Vamana Dev? Who are they? Who was his mum and dad?
Brahmanas?
Huh?
Brahmanas?
I think so. No, specifically. And what was the husband's name? Yeah, very good. Oh, screw it out of you guys, yeah. Okay. So Aditi and Kasyapa, and they performed austerities, right? What was their austerities about? What did they want from their austerity? They performed for thousands and thousands of years. What did they want?
Somebody just like Krishna?
Yes, they wanted a son just like you. Krishna, what did he say? He says,
Can't be done.
tough, nobody's like me, so I'll have to come as your son. So he came 3 times as their son. What was the first time? Pandit? What was the first time he came as their son? Hiranyakashipu tanu bringam. Hiranyakshikashipu tanu bringam. No, not Nrsingadev, Hiranyak. Huh? Huh? Yeah. Yeah. But then who killed him? Not Nrsingadev, we're talking about Hiranyaksha. Yeah.
Oh, that was the fifth incarnation.
Yeah?
The fifth incarnation.
Yeah. Varaha. Yeah. So he killed Hiranyaksha. Okay.
Again, Varaha avatar was not the son of Aditya.
Okay. No, he came out of the nose of Brahma.
The incarnation is came from the nose
This is
of
what happens
Brahma.
when you pick your nose, right? Was that guy with a really long fingernail?
Yeah. But he said that the 3 incarnations of which came from Aditi,
Ah.
of Vishnu, but Varaha avatar came from Brahma's
Yeah.
nose,
Yeah.
which was not Aditi's
Right.
son. Nrsingadev was not Aditi's son.
Right.
Vamana Dev was Aditi's son.
Right. So, who was Aditi's children? The different incarnation. We got Vaman Maharaj, Vaman Dev.
Vaman was one.
Yeah.
Others the Indra and the rest.
Huh?
Others the Indra and Devdas, not the
They wanted that specific benediction that Krishna will appear as their son. Right? So, let's see what do we got in here. Vaman Dev, Lord's incarnation.
Vaman Dev was surely.
Yeah.
You can't get Krishna 3 times as your baby.
Yeah, because Vasudeva and Devaki, they were also the incarnations. Right?
But nothing to do with Aditi. Krishna has nothing to do with Aditi.
Krishna had nothing to do with Aditi.
Because Krishna's birth had nothing to do with Aditi.
Yeah, they were previously, who were they in their previous lives? Kashyapa and Aditi. So they came as Devaki and Vasudeva.
Yeah, but born from Aditi. We're talking about if he was born from Aditi.
If they were reincarnations, they're the same.
I think the second one was Upendra.
Upendra.
Yeah. And then Narayan himself.
Yeah.
But Upendra, another name for
Vamana
Indradev
Dev.
is Upendra.
Yeah. Vaman Dev.
Another name for Indradev is Upendra.
No, Indradev. Vaman Dev.
Indradev is
Indra.
It's only a title.
Huh?
Like Minister of Finance. Indra is a title. And Upendra is the name of Indradev.
No, Upendra is a name for Vaman Dev.
Yeah,
Another name for Vamana Dev. And Upendra is is Indra's brother, younger brother. He's his younger brother. Yeah? So, anyway, anybody want to expand on Vamana Dev? Anybody doing any homework on Vamana Dev?
yes, from my knowledge and having good days, kathas and discourses, which I I have heard,
Yeah.
and every credit goes to my Gurudev. This is nothing to no knowledge from me. What I have heard, what Gurudev has said, is that when Bali Maharaj, who is the grandson of Prahlad Maharaj, he captured all the three worlds. Then all the devatas went running to Brahmaji and Shivji and finally to Vishnu, who was the ultimate, who's the maintainer of everything. So Vishnu was who put his hands up that I'm going to help you out, and then Vishnu promised that he will take an incarnation as Vamana Dev, who is the son of Aditi and Kashyapa, and that he will help them out to release the earth or the heaven or the three worlds from the grasp of Bali Maharaj. Right.
Yeah.
The way he looked
So how did he?
at
How did he get?
off track.
No, I'm just wondering to see if everybody was still there. They all walked out the door.
So this is what I have heard from Guru Maharaj's discourses. And also Vamana Dev, when he came, we descended as the son of Aditi and Kashyapa. So and on the other side, Bali Maharaj, who was the grandson of Prahlad Maharaj, genetically and naturally, he was a very great spiritual person.
He was a big demon.
Demon, but he was a grandson of Prahlad, so he was naturally a very spiritual person. So he was a great donor and following in the footsteps of his grandfather. So he was still a spiritual person. He's only been a grandson now. He hasn't been a great grandson.
Okay. So he used to give a lot of charity, right?
Yeah, a lot of charity.
So how did Vamana Dev trick him?
So Prabhupada then came as in the disguise of a beggar at his doorstep.
Little dwarf.
Yeah, a dwarf as a child, and he asked for 3 steps of land. And then being a donor, who was very good in charity, he couldn't refuse. So Shukracharya was there, who was his guru, Thakur. And Shukracharya realized or understood the person is no one else but Vishnu himself, or Krishna. And he stopped him. Don't give him any charity because he's no one else. He's in this guy's his guru. He's Vishnu. But because he was very good in charity, doesn't matter who comes, it's even Vishnu or Krishna or whoever, because he's good in charity and he's the son of grandson of Prahlad, he has to give charity.
But he said, oh, if he's Vishnu anyway, he's going to take everything anyway, so I may as well give it to him. It's better that I give than have it taken, right? So then he took his achuman, his kamandala, or whatever they call those things, with a spout on them, right? And he was pouring water to do achumam. So what did Shukracharya do?
He went and he took a shape form of a moth or fly or something, and he went inside the kettle. And you know, with inside the kettle, the thing inside
The spout.
and the sprout, and there's a strainer inside it. He went and covered that sprout and the strainer with his foam, and then who's that? Bali Maharaj or Vamana Dev, he used a straw to clear the strainer, and then he poked the eye of Shukracharya.
So Shukracharya is blind in one eye.
Yeah. It was Vamana Maharaj or Shukracharya or Bali Maharaj. This thing I don't know. I can't afford.
Yeah, I'll pass on that one.
Yeah,
Also.
I think it was the Vamana Maharaj.
Yeah.
It wasn't Bali Maharaj. It was Vamana Maharaj who poked it.
I think it was Bali Maharaj, but anyway, we can check on it. I've got it in here somewhere. Vamana begs charity. Doesn't say, I don't think. No, just doesn't even mention that bit. Anyway, that's correct. I think it was Bali Maharaj who poked the stick. Vamana Dev said, just poke a stick down the hall, down the hall, and clear it, clear the. Yeah. So he did that, and then immediately, Shukracharya's eye finished.
So that's sort of that's the place where from my understanding, from what I remember, that Bali Maharaj pretty much at that spot in his own guru, that you are stopping me from doing this deed, and now you are not my guru anymore.
Mm.
With his own guru at that time, and there will be a precedence is set that if you are doing something good, and your guru Maharaj stops you from doing following a spiritual path, you can always disown your guru. So that's sort of a precedence he has set on that spot.
Mm.
So that was then, and then when it came to the time when in charity he was supposed to ask the
Three
steps
steps
of
of land.
One step was the heavenly plans. He took that. The second was
He took all Patala down from the bottom right to the top, and when he extended his foot, he poked a hole in the universe shell, right, and then the Ganga water came down. So we owe the benefit of the Ganga to Vamana Maharaj. Okay, so
in the third step, he just didn't know where to put, and then Bali Maharaj said, "Okay, you can put it on my head."
right. But what was his reason for that?
I don't know the reasoning behind it, but there wasn't anything.
He said that the possessor is greater than the possessions. So I'm the possessor of the three worlds, and I've given that to you. But now that we need somewhere, so put your head on my foot. Put your foot on my head, right? And then what did he do? Then he tied him up and pushed him down to Patala or Sutala, wherever. And he's still down there to this day. All right?
So it continues. There's one set of Katha. There's another set of Katha which goes forward, where in charity, when once everything was given, so there was nothing left. So when Bali Maharaj gave everything away, and then Vishnu asked, "Now, what do you want in return?" He said, and then Vishnu was so happy with him. He was so pleased.
I'll give you a benediction.
Yeah.
What your benediction you want?
And then he said, "Okay, you can come with me, and then you can be my gatekeeper in Patal Lok." And then he took him to Patal Lok, and in
How many gates were there in his palace?
4,
No, 37.
37.
Yeah, a lot of gates. Right? He says, well, sometimes I'll go out one gate, sometimes I'll go out another. So every time I come out, I want to see you there. Right? So that means Bali had to, Vamana had to take so many gates. Right? And then what happened? What was Lakshmi's reaction for this?
Lakshmi's reaction, she was devastated because she couldn't find Vishnu in Vaikuntha. So she went to Patal Lok and then requested
On the order of Narada Muni.
requested Maharaj to release. And but before that, she tricked Bali Maharaj. And somehow that he made him a brother. And that's when
Raksha Bandhan.
That's why every time a priest starts a prayer, he will say that En Bandhu Bali Raja Dan Dindru Mahapalapati Badnami Rakshatu Machalam Machalam, that's mantra. And that's when that Bali Maharaj name comes in there. That Bali Maharaj, that he tries to protect you from that, that mantra is said before every time a puja starts, a prayer starts. So that is the significance of that mantra. So that's when Bali Maharaj gives a promise that I will protect you because you are my sister, and then he releases Vishnu from being a gatekeeper.
He still kept one form down there as a murti.
Yeah. So that was a continuation from that katha.
Yeah.
But that was my Guruji's discourse. Maybe I missed something, but that was it. That was the content of it.
Okay. So now, is there any other comments on Vamana Dev? So we have, is it today or when's Jiva Goswami? Jiva Goswami. Who was Jiva Goswami? Anybody know?
Jiva Goswami was the nephew of Sanatana and Raghunath Das.
Yes. Who was his father? There were 3 brothers.
Yeah.
Rup, Sanatan, and Anupam. So Anupam died young, right? And Jiva Goswami was taken to get audience of, still as a baby, he was taken to get audience of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and Mahaprabhu, what did he do? What benediction did he get? Special mercy. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did something that he'd never done with anybody else.
He put his foot on Jiva Goswami.
No, he put his toe, big toe in his mouth, and Jiva Goswami got to suck it. So Jiva Goswami, he became Vachaka. Vachaka, what does Vachaka mean? Means talkative, right? If Radha and Krishna are having pastimes, right, maybe one of the gopis will come and say, oh, what happened last night, right? And Radharani, she'll say, oh, I don't know. When I got there, I met Krishna and then I fainted, and I don't know what happened. And if they ask Krishna, he said, oh, I don't know, I fainted. I don't know what happened, right? I don't know what Radharani did to me. And Radharani said, I don't know what Krishna did to me, right? So in this way, nobody will tell, right, what was going on in the kunjas of Vrindavan, except for one person. Rupa Goswami didn't tell, right? Sanatan Goswami didn't tell, but one person told, Jiva Goswami. So he wrote all these pastimes, right? What was going on in the kunjas of Vrindavan. So we have, as his legacy, yeah, it's a little bit of a rave here. One time, one Digvijay Pandit came when Jiva Goswami was in Vrindavan with Rupa and Sanatan, right? And the Digvijay Pandit came to Rupa and Sanatan and he said, I want to debate with you. And if you don't debate with me, you have to sign this declaration of defeat. So Rupa and Sanatan, they immediately signed, yeah, we don't want to waste time arguing with somebody that'll never be convinced anyway. So they signed. Anyway, Jiva Goswami heard about this, and he went and he defeated that Digvijay Pandit. They said he defeated him so badly that he even passed stool in his pants, or his dhoti, or whatever, his gopins. So, and then he re-established the position of Vaishnavism, of being superior. Okay. So, anything else on Jiva Goswami? You've been very quiet there, Pandit, the other Pandit. Eh? What are you not going to say anything on Jiva Goswami? Eh? You're learning. You should be knowing all this. Right? So
who is Jiva Goswami? Ask already. Who is Jiva Goswami in Goloka?
In Goloka, I'll see if we can get the answer in here. He's one of the Manjaris. Let's see if it says who he is. Doesn't say. Anybody knows? Anybody's got good access on their phone? Eh? Vilas Manjari, maybe? Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so that's Jiva Goswami. Okay, so today is Bhaktivinoda. Right, who was Bhaktivinoda? And who else was he? Incarnation of? Radhe Krishna Govinda Gopala. Incarnation of Srimati Radharani. Yeah, it's very special, right? So he's also Gadada, and he's incarnation of Gadada, right? So going down from there. Look, I don't know what we got in for. We've got Bhaktivinoda here. Right. So when Bhaktivinoda appeared, it was a very dark period for Gaudiya Vaishnavism, right? There were so many Sahaja groups, Alls, Balls, Katavajas, so many, about 12 or 14 different apasampradayas, bogus sampradayas. And the main concept that people had of Vaishnavism was that Vaishnavas, what do? Oh, they sing Hare Krishna at funerals, right? And then people give them money, right? So that was a function that they thought Vaishnavas did. They just, they didn't. And then they went to Vrindavan and they had they got one widow and and created many children through that widow. And this was their Parakiya Bhav, illicit conception of Parakiya Ras. So Bhaktivinoda re-established the true conception of Vaishnavism, and he also did one other wonderful thing. He gave another great gift. Plus, if we look in our songbooks, we'll find practically all the songs are written by Bhaktivinoda. But he gave us something even greater than that. What was that? Eh? Yes, very good. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, he was the greatest gift. Otherwise, how would we be called Saraswat Brahmins, Saraswat devotees? Because we're coming in the line of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, right? So, he was, in his youth, he was very learned. He would defeat many upper Sampradaya personalities. And he became a teacher. And then later on, he was so honored by the British. He was held in so much reverence by the British that one British Ravenshaw, he said that if there were more Bhaktivinods in India, we would never keep India, right? India would immediately become independent, right? So he had such a high opinion of him. And one time there was a bogus personality claiming to be Vishnu. Who was he? Anybody remember the name? Begins with a V. Vishvakshena, right? He, claiming to be Vishnu, he says, on the 11th day of the full moon, I will show my forearm form, and in the meantime, I'm going to have Rasalila with all the young ladies, right? So all the respectable gentlemen, they all went to Bhaktivinoda, who had been appointed as a magistrate, right, at this time, and the Ravenshaw, the English sort of overseer of that province, he says, only you can handle this, right? Nobody else can handle it. So Bhaktivinoda went to this Vishvakshena, and in plain clothes, didn't put his big fancy uniform that he sees. I don't know if he's got his fancy uniform on there, but he had a big official court dress. And he said, I know who you are. He said, you're Bhaktivinoda, and if you try to do anything against me, I will curse you and you'll be finished. And Bhaktivinoda didn't care, right? So he went with a whole bunch of Muslim constables, right? Because no Hindus would go near this Vishvakshena, because Vishvakshena, he had big long dreads, like somebody else. He used to have big long dreadlocks. And he would swing these around in a fire, and flames would shoot out from this thing. I went, wow, he must be God because he can do this, throw fire from his dreadlocks. So anyway, all the Muslim constables grabbed him, and then this Ravenshaw, he got a pair of scissors. And remembering the Bible, there's a teaching in the Bible about hair. What's the teaching? Samson and Delilah, right? So Samson was a big, strong man. But where was his strength lying? In his hair, right? He's trying to grow his hair so he can become strong, right? So they cut Samson's hair off, and then they chained him up to a couple of pillars. But after some time, his hair started growing back. And then what did he do? He pulled the temple down, crushed it, and so many people were killed. So that's a quick story. Anyway, so in the similar way, when Vishvakshena had his hair cut, then he lost all his power. And he sentenced him to 6 months in jail, put him in jail, and he fasted till death. So, but in the meantime, when he was jailed, he would sending curses out to Bhaktivinoda. Bhaktivinoda got very sick, and his son also got sick. He didn't say which son. I don't think it was Bhaktisiddhanta, but anyway, one of his sons got sick as well. And Bhaktivinoda realized that this is just an exhibition of this yogi's mystic power, but anyway, he still arrested him and threw him in jail. So, anybody else got any other little tidbits on Bhaktivinoda? Who else's appearance is it today? Anybody else?
He's also regarded as the seventh Goswami, one of the...
Oh, yeah. He was called the seventh Goswami, one respectable personality in India. He said, I've heard and read the books of the six Goswamis, but you are surely the seventh Goswami. So from that time on, he became known as the seventh Goswami. Right? So, anybody else? What else is it today? Oh, you got a whole list on your phone. What else was up there? Oh, Haridas Thakur. Yeah. So, Haridas Thakur. How can we forget Haridas Thakur? What's special about Haridas Thakur? Namacharya. Why is it called a Namacharya? He used to chant 3 lakhs. How many rounds is 3 lakhs? Ratnish. Hey, Ratnish, how many lakhs is 3 lakhs? How many rounds? 3 lakhs. Yes, which is how many? 192. 192 rounds, right? 3 fours are 12. 3 sixes are 18. Plus 1, 392, right? 392 rounds every day. So anyway, one particular... he was born on the border of Bangladesh and what's now Bangladesh and India. And what's the name of the place? Anyway, the Indian side, it's called Haridaspur, right? Named after him. And the other side is Birampur. Birampur? Yeah, I think it's Birampur. Anyway, there's a Indian border crossing there, and you can drive through there. So one time the German devotees gave three trucks to Indian Yatra, but these trucks, because they were on foreign registered, they had to be driven out every 6 months. They could only stay in the country for 6 months. So I got the job one time of driving the gari to Bangladesh from Navadvip, and we went through that thing. And if you go on the other side, I think it's Birampur, it's near Jessore, there's a deity of Haridas Thakur with one prostitute. Who was that prostitute? Lakahira, right? Lakahira means 1,000 jewels, right? So she was very, very expensive. Anyway, the king in that was Ramchandra, right? He told this girl, he says, if you can make this Haridas Thakur fall down, I'll give you half my kingdom. So she was very greedy for wealth, so she said, yes, but give me 3 days. She says, okay, I'll send a policeman with you. No, let me enjoy first, right? So anyway, the first night she went there, and Haridas is chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And she was sort of standing there being all coy and sort of exposing parts of her body and, and Haridas says, please sit down. I said, I know why you've come. I will surely fulfill all your desires, but I have to finish my rounds, chanting. I've made one vow, I have to finish 1 crore, right? A crore is 100,000 names? 100,000 rounds, right? In a month. So he said, but it'll nearly be finished. So please just sit down. So she sat there and waited, and then he was chanting all night. And then eventually dawn came, and still he was chanting. He said, oh, look, I'm very sorry, I couldn't finish. But you come back tomorrow, and I'm sure I'll finish by tomorrow, right? Anyway, she came back tomorrow night. And then the next night, a little bit of her heart was changing. So she offered respects to the Tulsi, and then she sat down. And then again, all night chanting, listening to Harinam from a pure devotee. And he said, look, I'm really sorry, but definitely I'll finish tonight. So you please come again. So then the third time she came, she fell down. She had a complete change of heart. And she said, the Ramchandra Khan had sent me and, to make you fall down. He said, I knew all this because what is pure devotee? He's Trikalagya, knows past, present, and future, right? So he says, now what I want you to do is that you just give all your ill-gotten gains away to the Brahmins and the Vaishnavas, and you sit in this hut and you chant 3 lakhs a day and you worship Tulsi. So this is what she did. So anyway, in that Birampur, on the other side from Haridaspur, the border, there's a statue of that lady, and she became a great Vaishnavi, and everybody was respecting her. Right. So, Haridas Thakur, his disappearance today, is it? Right? How did he disappear? Lord Chaitanya, he used to go and visit Haridas Thakur every morning, right? And then he would go to the sea and take bath. Why? Why didn't he go to the sea and take bath and then come and visit Haridas Thakur? Or why did he not other way around. He would take bath and then he would come and visit Haridas Thakur. All right? Why did he do it that way? Why didn't he go to see Haridas Thakur and then go and take bath? Because people would think, oh, he's been to see that Haridas Thakur who was born in a Muslim family and now he's become contaminated, so he's gone to the ocean to take bath, to purify himself from having darshan of that ex-Muslim. But that wasn't the case at all. Lord Chaitanya had so much regard for Haridas Thakur that he went to see Haridas to the sea and bathed, and then he came and saw Haridas Thakur. So he used to send Haridas Thakur, because Haridas Thakur never went near the Jagannath temple, because he was afraid that and Sanatana Goswami and Rupa Goswami, they used to live with Haridas Thakur. So none of them would go near the Puri temple because they didn't want to contaminate, because they considered themselves to be Muslims because they used to work with a Muslim ruler, right? So by this process, they would contaminate the priests. If the priests were doing some offering or anything and the priest saw them, they would have to go and take bath, because that was a rigid condition of the Brahminical society at that time. So Lord Chaitanya, every day he would get Jagannath Prasadam and he would send it with his servant. What was the name of his servant? Dayabai. Come on, you know this one. Govinda Damo Dharamadaveti. Got it? Got the clue? Govinda. His servant's name was Govinda, right? So he took prasadam, and then Haridas said, oh, you brought prasadam, but today I'm not feeling very well. So, but I should honor respect the prasadam. So he just took a small morsel, right? And then he went, laid back on his bed. And then Govinda went and told Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And then Mahaprabhu came and said, what's your problem? He said, well, why are you sick? He said, well, I can't chant my fixed number of rounds. He said, now you're old. You don't have to keep chanting 192 rounds every day. You can reduce the number, right? So then he said, no, that's actually not the real reason. What is the real reason? Real reason? Don't know? The real reason is because I understand that very soon you will enact your disappearance pastimes, and I don't want to be around to see that, right? So I want to go before you, right? So then Lord Chaitanya, Chatastu, right? He blessed him, okay. The next day he came with a bunch of devotees and they did kirtan, and Haridas Thakur laid on his bed. He put the feet of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu on his chest, and he looked in his eyes and then said, Gauranga, and he left, right? So then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu picked up his body and he's dancing with his body, right? Because Mahaprabhu was very big and strong, right? And Haridas was very old and frail, so he wasn't that heavy. So then he took him to the sea, gave him bath, and then they all dug a big samadhi, and then they put Haridas Thakur in the Samadhi, and everybody threw sand on the top. And it's at that time then that the ocean retreated 15 meters. So that the ocean to this day doesn't come in that area 15 meters away from where it used to be, right? So 15 meters, the ocean stops. Whatever the condition, won't go past that 15 meters. Now there's a big temple there and Samadhi of Haridas Thakur. Yeah, so anything else on Haridas? Yep. Oh, Bhaktivinoda Bharati Goswami Maharaj, you can read all about him in the WhatsApp group. I'm continually sending information about him. He was he was a disciple, direct disciple of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. And one time when on Parikram, we had the fortune to go to the temple, to his temple, and Gurudev would sit here, and Bhakti what is his name? Bhakti Vigyan Bharati. Vigyan Bharati Maharaj would sit there, and they would talking, share the mic, and they were giving Harikatha. So, all glories to him. Other than that, yeah. No more. Okay, so we've got one muso sitting at the back there. He's stressing away. So we will call upon him to chant some Hare Krishna mantra. Prabhuji, are you with us? Yeah.
In olden days,
Yep.
we were not allowed in the Jagannath temple.
Who was not allowed? Huh? Muslims. Oh, no, nobody's allowed in.
So that is the procedure. I mean, that is the system. Nowadays, the white people are not allowed. Why people are not allowed in the temple?
Yeah. Why are they not allowed? You ask the pandas that. It's panda Katha. I don't know. Because they say only Indians are allowed in there. They wouldn't even let, what's her name? Gandhi? Mrs. Gandhi, what was her name? Indira Gandhi, right. They wouldn't even let her in there because she was married to a Muslim, right? So, and his son, Rahul Gandhi, he wasn't allowed to go in there either, right? So they're very fanatical. Apparently, Prem one time, he talked with the king of Puri. King of Puri is quite accessible. He's not sort of sitting on a crown with, with all that sort of stuff. He's quite accessible. And he said that I would like to change that. But nowadays, even the king doesn't have so much authority over the pandas. But when Bhaktivinoda was there, he organized the schedules in the Jagannath temple. Everybody could do whatever they liked. And if they were born in certain Brahmin families, they could do whatever offering they wanted. But Bhaktivinoda, he organized the temple schedule, and you had to offer specific things on specific days, and he organized the thing. You might have to turn it right round. Yeah, that's it. Okay. Anybody else? Quick one before Prem has a hernia. Yep.
Just last night, and we mentioned about Thakur.
Yeah.
He's not only an incarnation of Brahma,
Uh,
also a mix of Prahlad Maharaj
Uh.
in it as well.
uh,
So Prahlad Maharaj and Brahma makes Haridas Thakur.
yeah.
So just in case someone only knows that he's only Brahmani, but not only Brahmani, but also Prahlad Maharaj also a mix in there as well. It's mentioned by
There's also a theory too that Haridas Thakur was born in a Vaishnava family, but his mother died, and he was brought up by Muslims. And Gurudev says this is bogus. He was born in a Muslim family. Why was he born in a Muslim family? Because as Brahma in his previous incarnation, right, he stole all the calves and cows. So in his next birth, he said, "Let me be born in a very low condition, right, so that I won't become puffed up with being four-headed Brahma." Right, so in that way, he got the benediction of being Haridas Thakur. All right, 1, 2, 3, Pran, you ready?
Yep.
Okay, go for it.
Namo Vishnu Padaya Shri Guru Prasthaya Bhutale Shrimati Bhaktivedanta Madhav Iti Namane. Sri Krishna Chaitanya.